Welcome to Fireside News, where the stories are hot and the common sense is, well, sometimes missing. Tonight's lineup, we got a Pringles pop to the face, a streaking car thief pulling a full-on Ricky Bobby, the internet's latest food abomination that might turn your stomach. Oh, and someone found a way to make boiling an egg even more complicated because, life wasn't hard enough. Ever picked your nose so hard you landed in the ER? One guy did, and his wife, well, she made sure the whole world knew about it. And what happens when a 4-year-old gets revenge on his mom stealing his ice cream? Let's just say it involves actual police sirens. Buckle up, because this week's Fireside News is packed with the absurd and hilarious and downright why is this real life moments. Hit that like, share with a friend, and let's dive in. They say once you pop, you can't stop. But this guy's probably relieved that that's not always the case. A 28-year-old woman in Florida named Shanika Serdal was arrested after attacking a man at a 7-Eleven in Orlando last Thursday. Police say Shanika walked up to the male customer, called him a B-word, and then hit him across the face with the Pringles can. Just pow, right in the kisser, right? He suffered a significant cut on his right eyebrow and under his eye, causing him to bleed. It sounds like she popped him only once and then stopped and then ran away. The police found her down the street, still had the Pringles can on her. She didn't even bother to hide the evidence. Shaniqua told police the victim was being rude to her, but he denies that. An employee says the guy wasn't doing anything wrong. Right before he got popped in the face, he was notifying the cashier that there was a guy laying down outside the building. So maybe that had something to do with it, or maybe she popped the guy outside in the mouth of the Pringles can too. All right, gather around, everyone. Here are a few more good news stories making the rounds. A guy in England tried to rob a convenience store last week, but a 42-year-old woman was buying candy and happened to be a 5th-degree black belt. She's also trained in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and boxing, landed one big kick on the dude, then chased him out the store. Local police gave her a commendation for it. 2 high school golfers were playing each other in a tournament near Dallas 2 weeks ago, and one of them ended up saving the other one's life. High school senior Angel Lucio heard his opponent yelling for help and found him near a water hazard. Turned out the kid fell in trying to grab a ball out and couldn't swim. Angel pulled him out and he's okay. And even though they were soaking wet, they decided to finish out their match, which Angel won. Cops gave him a Hero of the Month award. And you lose your match and your opponent saves your life. Talk about a bad beat. But there you go, some news that doesn't suck. Some milkshakes will bring the boys to the yard, and others might make you barf in your yard. The University of Miami baseball stadium recently offered up a milkshake combined with Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. It was a vanilla shake with actual cheesesteak and cheese whiz mixed in it. If that sounds disgusting to you, you probably don't need to see photos of it because that's not going to help at all. One person who tried it said, honestly, it was awesome. Unfortunately, the cheesesteak milkshake was just a limited time thing. A guy down in Miami named Mitch Friedman has been making unique creations for 40 years to honor the opposing team. He made a lobster shake when a team from Maine came to town. Teams from New Jersey usually get a cannoli shake. So when Villanova's baseball team was in town last week, he went with the cheesesteak. I don't know, a part of me wants to try it. The kicker here is who outed the guy. A man in northern China recently had to be rushed into surgery after he picked his nose so hard he hit an artery. Minor nosebleeds from picking are common, but you really have to get up in there to hit an artery. He was all the way up inside, so he was getting after it. He showed up at the hospital after he couldn't get the bleeding to stop. The only reason we're hearing about this is because his wife shamed him online. She posted a video on China's version of TikTok and revealed that he's a compulsive nose picker who refused to stop picking. He's lying in a hospital bed while she's mocking him for not listening to her. Doctors repaired the torn artery, so thankfully he's okay. On the list of most embarrassing ways to die, this might be number 1. A 35-year-old naked man in New Hampshire was arrested last week after quite the afternoon. The man allegedly stole a car and then caused an accident on the highway. He sustained some minor injuries, but otherwise he's going to be okay physically. Mentally, not so much. I mean, after the crash, the man took all of his clothes off and pulled a full Ricky Bobby and went running across the highway. He abandoned his clothes on the shoulder, crossed the highway, and then left the scene of the accident. Multiple drivers called the cops after they dodged the guy on the highway. The police found the man wandering down the highway, and they're fairly sure it was him because, he's still completely naked. Just look for the naked guy walking down the highway. That's the guy. They identified the guy as Sean Wiener. Yeah, so the guy's naked and his name's Wiener. That's great, right? Wiener was charged with indecent exposure and lewdness, reckless conduct, disorderly conduct, and littering. I'm guessing for his clothes that he left on the side of the road. And that's just the aftermath. There'll be separate charges for the theft and the crash, which are both still under investigation. Did you hear science figured out a new way to cook eggs? Researchers in Italy released a study last month called periodic cooking. It's not complicated, but it takes a while. It takes about 32 minutes. Hard boiling makes the egg white rubbery, and some people don't like that, but soft boiling doesn't fully cook the yolk, and other people don't like that. So they designed it to cook both parts perfectly. It takes some dedication and 2 pots of water, one that's 212 degrees, the other one that's 86 degrees. You cook them for 2 minutes in the hot water, then move them to the warm water for 2 minutes. Then you repeat the process 7 more times. After 32 minutes, guess what? You end up with the perfectly cooked egg. But is it worth it? Sound off in the comments. Sleep Awareness Week, and each day has a theme, kind of like Spirit Week at school. We had National Napping Day and National Dream Day, and no one has the exact same dreams. That'd be kind of weird, but there are certain types of dreams that lots of people have had. A casual poll online asked people if they experienced these 12 dream themes. Over 20,000 people weighed in, and here are the results. Coming to number 1, a dream where you're being chased. 89% of people have had one of those. A dream about falling. 87% have had that one. A dream about someone who really hurt you. 75% of people have had a dream like that. A dream about running late for something super important. 72% of us have had that one. Do people who seem to put zero effort into being on time ever have that dream? Also, a dream where you're hanging out with a celebrity. 60% of us have had that dream. A dream where you lost your voice and you're unable to call out or shout for help. 58% of people have had that one. A dream where you're in school taking a test. 56% have had a dream like that. A dream where you're dying. 56% of us have. A dream where your teeth are falling out. That's always fun. 49% have had that dream. A dream where you're pregnant when you're not. Or if you're a guy, it's even creepier. 46% of us have had that dream. A dream about killing someone. 41% have had a dream. And a dream where you're naked in public. 38% of us have had that dream. Just 12 common dreams you may have had. Everyone mocked pineapple on pizza, but now plenty of people like it. So what are the odds that this one's going to catch on? A place in Australia just divided the internet with its newest offering for pizza, oranges. Yeah, the place is called Bubba Pizza. They have about 15 locations in Melbourne. They apparently added it to their menu a few months ago, but the internet's just now hearing about it. Their ham and orange pizza is basically just Hawaiian pizza. They just subbed out the pineapple for orange slices. The orange slices are peeled. They say an Aussie Rules footballer named Cooper Hamilton came up with the idea. They're obviously doing it just to wind people up and press buttons, and I guess it's working. News sites in the US and the UK are running stories about it. I'm talking about it right now. Most people online think it sounds disgusting, including myself, but remember, that's how pineapple on pizza started too. A pizza chain just debuted oranges on pizza. You sacrifice so much for your kids, but then they turn around and just rat you out to the fuzz. A mom in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin got a visit from the cops last week after her 4-year-old son turned her in for eating his ice cream. He called and told them that she was being bad and then said, "Come get my mommy and put her in jail." His mom got on the phone a few seconds later and said, "Hey, I ate his ice cream and that's probably why he's calling you." They believed her, obviously, but they still had to do a welfare check just in case. And when they showed up, he tried to get her in trouble again. He claimed that mommy hit him. Then he admitted that he was just angry about the ice cream. Laughed. She even let them put her in handcuffs and eventually said he didn't want to press charges. It turned out it wasn't even his ice cream to begin with. It was her ice cream. They had 2 ice creams they were sharing, and he thought that she stole his. He also didn't dial 911. She said he got Siri to call the cops. The cops noted he seems pretty smart for his age. They went back the next day and brought him some ice cream. They even added sprinkles because he said he likes sprinkles. Let's hope mom's not too mad at him. Do you know a guy who loves working on cars but wants to keep it a secret from his buddies because it's just not cool enough? Probably not. They might hide other things that are less masculine, though. There's a list of online hobbies and interests that men have, and they admit they've kept on the DL from their buddies. And there's some good stuff on this list. Let's check out this one. I have stuffed animals and plushies from Squishmallow on my bed. Another person said cute stuffed animals, especially dinosaurs. These guys didn't provide their ages, so I'm not judging or anything. This person said, I secretly love motivational quotes, but I'm too proud to admit that I have a notebook full of my favorites. This person said they enjoy bubble baths, which I'm not going to hate on that at all. I enjoy a good bath now and then, too. It's kind of like soaking your dishes in the sink. It's easier to get all the crust off there. My wife and I watch every season of Love is Blind on Netflix, and I love it. Another confession includes sewing, baking. This person said, I enjoy listening to boy bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. My friends are all into rap and auto-tune stuff, which sounds terrible. Another person went on to say, I'm a 30-something white suburban dad, and I love raunchy pop music like Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, and Katy Perry. Swift isn't really raunchy, but you kind of get the idea, okay? This person said, I'll admit to like romantic comedies and fruity cocktails because I want my drink to taste good, not like stale bread. Another person says they shamelessly admit to enjoying romance novels. Another guy says he enjoys pedicures. And this guy said he builds Legos, plays with his cat, and watches elephant, cat, and dog videos on the regular. Classical music is another admission from this guy. He says he likes classical music, The Lord of the Rings, working in his garden, and cartoons. He goes, I'm sure my friends would be okay with all that, but I'm a real contractor, and there's a stigma of rugged manliness attached to it. Now, come on, guys. I'm talking to the friends here. There's nothing wrong with a little ribbon on your buddy if he's a diehard Swiftie, but if you don't have friends with diverse interests, I guess you need more friends. Ask Grandpa what flying was like in the 60s, and he'll tell you it was pretty darn fancy. The cabin was full of cigarette smoke, and they treated you like royalty. Not anymore. Southwest just announced that they start charging people for checked bags this spring. They're the last major U.S. airline that didn't charge, so it's official. Every airline is Spirit now. Spirit's the OG. They started charging for checked bags in 2007. Now, starting May 28th, you won't even get one bag on Southwest. They haven't said how much they're going to charge yet, but other airlines tack on around $35 for your first bag and more for additional bags. Southwest's 2 bags fly free policy was a big selling point for them for a little bit, but now their CEO said they're ditching it to, quote, return to the levels of profitability that we and our shareholders expect. Frequent flyers and business class passengers will still get 2 free bags, but everyone else, you gotta pony up some cash. It does sound like you still get that 1 free carry-on, but everyone's gonna do that now, so they'll run out of space pretty quick. We assume they'll check your carry-on for free if it happens, but no official word on that just yet. They say quit while you're ahead, but quitting while you're behind can be a good call too. Someone on the Florida Panhandle had to call the cops to ask them to remove a guest who'd been staying with them. It happened in Holmes County right near the Alabama border, and it's not clear how long 50-year-old Christopher Newton had been living there, but he eventually agreed to leave, and that could have been the end of it. But while the cops were still on the scene, he needed to text the homeowner and say he forgot something in the house. He forgot his giant bag of drugs. He told them that he, quote, left a baggie on the nightstand in his room. So they let the cops search the room and they found a baggie of white powder. Now he's facing charges for possession of cocaine. Hey adventurers, do you love the outdoors? Love staying up to date on the latest news and viral trends? Then you're in the right place. On this channel, we bring you daily trending news, wild stories, and everything you need to stay in the know. So if you're all about adventure, laughs, and staying up to date, hit the subscribe button, join the crew, and let's make every day an adventure.